when you walk into a room, sometimes you don't have the opportunity to speak or say what you want, but if you look great, people trust you immediately. And I think you can see that in every industry. My name is Julianne Costigan, and I am the CEO and lead stylist of Julianne Costigan Executive Styling Firm. At Julianne Costigan Executive Styling Firm, we help women establish great style, build confidence, and attain personal and professional success. And we do this through a number of different ways and different pillars within our business. So number one, we are a service-based business. That's how I started. So we work with one-on-one clients, mostly executive women and public-facing women, where we help them develop a personal brand and use clothing as a tool to achieve that personal brand. We also offer a digital product called the Digital Style Guide, where we have found a way to curate our one-on-one services and put it into a digital offering where women can subscribe on a monthly basis at an affordable price point and really get all the tools, the tips, the tricks, and our style advice in this one digital product. It's been a really great way for us to connect with a larger community and really service anyone, anywhere. We also offer a number of different events. One is called Portraits with Impact, where we help women achieve a great headshot. We also do speaking engagements and master classes where we're able to talk about our tips or tricks, give our advice on a larger scale to a wider audience with corporate clients. Our business idea came from really my start in Kitchener-Waterloo, which is where I grew up. I worked at a couple of local boutiques, one of which, the first one was Just Between Us, also known as JBU, and then SAS. And they were both designer, high-end boutiques run by really incredible women in this community. And I started volunteering there at age 13 because I wanted to work in the industry but couldn't actually get a job at that age. So my mom said, you know what? Go volunteer and get your start that way. So I started there and eventually got a job. And this is where I saw women coming in on a regular basis before a meeting or a really important event in a panic, saying, you know, I don't know what to wear. I've got this big presentation or I'm doing something and I need a great outfit to make me feel great. And it was in those moments where I realized that I had the skill set to help women find pieces of clothing that were going to empower them and help them feel really confident. And this is something I did on an everyday basis with my own clothing. But in those moments, I realized that not all women have the skill set to do that on their own. And so there was an opportunity to do this with more women as I, sort of grew my career and my experience over time. So that's where it started in Kitchener-Waterloo, in those boutiques, and through education and a number of different work experiences, I realized that there's a path here that I could carve out and really dive into and start my business. So before starting my business, I, of course, volunteered and worked here in Kitchener-Waterloo at local boutiques, but then I went on to university, I studied at the Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly known as Ryerson, for fashion communications. And then I went and studied abroad at the Institut of Marangoni in London, England, and also at IFM in Paris. And during that period of time when I was in school, I was also working and interning at different Canadian fashion houses, where I met a stylist who helped me really dive into this styling world and this industry and learn more about it. So I worked for her for a number of years in university and for a few years after, before launching my own business. So some of my biggest accomplishments, I think, to date are working with some really profound and incredible women who are changing the world we live in today. Early in my career, I started in editorial and advertising work, which allowed me to work with more celebrity type women who a lot of us would know. But really, truthfully, as my career has evolved, my biggest accomplishments, I think, are working with women like Meghan Markle, a Peloton instructor named Olivia Motto, who's sort of paving a way in the fitness industry, some really powerful female politicians who are changing the world we live in today, and being able to help them be able to do that through my work and our experience is really, really special. So I would say that's the thing that I feel really proud of, and is most sort of exciting in our career as we continue to grow. And as our business evolves, what I'm realizing is most important to me is being able to connect with more women at a single time, and really empower them and help them build confidence. And some of the key ways we've done that in the last year and moving into this next year is having the ability to connect with them through more public platforms. So we do fashion segments on Cityline where I'm able to talk about what we do with our clients one-on-one, but reach this huge audience, which without Cityline I wouldn't have the ability to do. The Kit, which is a fashion column and publication within the Toronto Star family. That's another column that we have that we produce on a monthly basis called Shop the Kit. This is where we give our style advice. We answer questions that come in through their audience, and we can teach them about how to really take their wardrobe and make them feel empowered every day through the different choices that they make. One of the biggest challenges I've faced as an entrepreneur that I can think of is this moment in my own personal career where I was in this editorial and advertising world, and realizing that it wasn't my passion, and having to follow what I knew I wanted to do, but there wasn't really a path carved out for this type of industry, which is working with executive women and personal clients. It was sort of when I was growing up, what every stylist wanted to do was work with celebrities and work in the advertising industry. And that's sort of what you saw on TV and what was talked about a lot, and an industry that I think you could understand how you could get from A to B. But I realized when I was in it, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And that was a really important part of how I knew I was going to achieve success. So in 2019, with the help of family and friends telling me that I should really follow my passion, I left my agency and I started my styling firm. It was just me. I had an intern who now works for me, and I started connecting with my personal clients that I always had on the side, and I just started talking about what I was going to be doing before I was really even fully doing it. And that was really challenging, because I think in those moments you really have to believe in yourself, and you have to surround yourself with cheerleaders and people who tell you that it is possible, that you can do these things, that you want to. And I think every entrepreneur can probably talk about a moment in their life where they knew they wanted to do something, but it felt really nerve-wracking to do it. But the only way you can get that success that you are striving for is to take that leap. And fortunately, I have learned that there is a whole industry of women and men who crave our services and need it in their life, and see it as an essential tool to achieve success and to grow in the corporate ladder, or achieve the personal successes that they have. And so we've worked with so many different types of women and a few men, mostly the husbands of our female clients. And I think that was one of the hardest things that I've done in my career, was making that leap and betting on myself. And then something that I've noticed in my own personal career in my life is that I've had mentors along the way. In my early days of dancing, someone who mentored, three sisters who mentored me and really encouraged me and helped me believe in myself. And then I had the stylist who I worked for when I finished university, who really mentored me. But as I switched paths, I didn't have anyone, and still don't really have any defined person who I feel like I can turn to, who's doing what I'm doing on a higher level. So that's been another challenge, I would say, is navigating this, feeling a little bit more alone. Of course, I'm surrounded by a number of women, my clients mostly, and family and friends who are all incredible and mentor me in different ways. But there's no one who I feel like I'm following or looking to for advice or leaning on as I navigate this industry that we're sort of carving out on our own. Something that I've noticed is a trend as technology becomes a new way that we're able to do business in any industry is we're almost creating the need a little bit. People don't know that our services are even available until either it's word of mouth spread through one of our clients, or someone says, hey, if you need help with your wardrobe or you don't know what to wear, there are people who know how to do that. So we're helping kind of market that and create this need for our services, because I think women and men both do need our help and advice. And often people forget that clothes are something that you wear every single day, and you can either let them help you or hurt you. And a majority of people who don't know how to use clothes as a tool to empower themselves let them dictate how they're going to feel each day and how they approach their work and their family life and their personal life. And it's actually an incredibly powerful tool if you learn to use it in a way to influence your approach to the day. It can be a crazy tool that can dictate your mental health, as we all know, that's a really important part of how we perform and live our lives and feel about ourselves. Personal branding is a new term that I think a lot of people aren't familiar with, but as social media and image plays a more important part in anyone's life, whether it's personal or professional, personal branding is something we help our clients do. And I think it's really important because it allows you to understand, kind of take your goals, your aspirations, and understand how you carry yourself, how you dress, how all these things can play into how other people perceive you. And as we all know, people, whether you like it or not, judge. I judge a book by its cover. If I want to read something and it looks great, I'm going to choose that book because of the way it looks. Similar, when you walk into a room, sometimes you don't have the opportunity to speak or say what you want, but if you look great, people trust you immediately. And I think you can see that in every industry. So personal branding is so interesting because I think you think that you need a personal brand so that other people perceive you a certain way, but often it can also affect how you believe in yourself and how you perform. So, for example, today I'm wearing a pair of heels. No one is seeing it on this camera, but I know that it affects how I'm speaking and how I feel about myself and how confident I feel in front of the camera. And that, I think, is what's so important about establishing a personal brand. Is it's about understanding what your goals are and then finding out different ways that you can use different tools like your clothes as a way to portray that personal brand that then allows people to understand who you are, and gives you the confidence to be that person that you really want to be. Knowing what I know now, I don't think there is anything I would do differently. Truthfully, I'm the kind of person that likes to move forward, very optimistic. Of course, I've made a number of mistakes that I look back on, but I try and approach those thoughts with the intention of, okay, that was a learning lesson. And it's definitely easier said than done. But I think you can't dwell on the past because you can't change it, but you can change the future. And so I feel really excited about the business that we're doing as a team right now. We've made a lot of progress in the last 3 years. And I think that's because I decided to really commit to what I'm passionate about. And I have a team around me that believes in it too. And we all support each other. And I think we have a really, really exciting future ahead of us in 2023. So no, I don't really regret anything that's happened to date. There are a few key core values that have been really important in our business. Number one is trust. We work with women in really vulnerable moments. And so in order to be successful, they have to trust us. Hard work. I have said this before. I really find that what we're doing in in the fashion industry doesn't really exist. So we are carving out this path, and the only way that we're going to be able to do that is by working really, really hard and being dedicated to it. And then the last value is quality. I think for me, what's always been important is that we're providing exceptional service and quality service. And if that means, texting our clients at 10:30 at night to make them feel really confident and empowered for that really important meeting that they're relying on us for, I'm going to text them back. And that's the extent and the quality of our service. The relationship that my team and I have with our clients goes far beyond those moments before a meeting or, those the professional world. I think as we earn their trust in that world, we then become more of a friend to them that they lean on when sometimes their friends can't even support them because I say this all the time, but your clothes are something that you wear every single day, and they hold such power in your life, and we become that friend or that sister that our clients lean on in those really vulnerable moments where we can give them advice that helps them feel really confident in those scary moments. And so we do text our clients at 10:30 at night. We have had to find new ways to connect with our clients through a digital app that we use where we actually digitize our clients' closet so that at any time, 24/7, we can log into their closet and help them put a packing list together or figure out what outfit they're going to wear for whatever moment it is that they need help with. So when you're able to connect with your clients on that level, really at any time, anywhere, you really develop a special bond with your clients. And I think any business owner could tell you that the relationship you have with your clients, the bond that you have with them, they are your biggest marketing tool, because when they market you and talk about you in front of their friend group, that's how you build business, build community. And ultimately at our styling firm, more than just helping these women find confidence in their clothing, we're building a community and a network of women who empower each other and understand that they all have this common thread amongst them, that they use their clothes as a tool to feel confident, but they all have different industries that they work in and different expertises. And what's been so beautiful about how our business has flourished and evolved over time is that it is becoming this bigger community where we're all supporting each other in the ways that we are experienced. And that's been a really special part of our business that I don't think I ever anticipated, but something that I'm very proud about and excited to see where it goes as our business evolves too. We have grown our business in so many different ways at different points in our career or in our business, I think. Mentorship has played a key role in some of the early days, building a community amongst our clients. A digital presence, I think, came into place during the pandemic when we had to rely on that as a tool to connect with more women. But an event that I started right after the pandemic with our team is called Portraits with Impact. And that came about because too many of my clients were communicating to me that they thought the imagery on my website was great, and they didn't know how to achieve that for themselves. And, you think it's easy to get a great headshot. There's lots of opportunities often within businesses to stand in front of a wall and snap a photo. But for women in particular, I think a headshot is so much more. And it's a really key tool actually to growing your business and believing in yourself, whether you work for a company or have your own business. So Portraits with Impact is this event that we started where we give women the opportunity to sign up. It's as simple as that. They get hair, makeup, nails, our styling services, and photography, all with the female team. So it's a very encouraging, really positive environment so that when you get in front of the camera, you feel really, really confident. And that's hugely important in taking a great photograph that then you're proud to put in front of an audience when maybe you don't have the ability to speak for yourself, but that you know is going to stand for you and kind of say what you want to when you can't actually use your voice. But what's been so interesting about this event that started as a small 15-person event, it's now a biannual event that we do with 25 women at a time. Over the last year and a half, we've photographed over 100 women, and that's because some of the bigger brands that exist today, like Mercedes-Benz, Valentino Beauty, we have a few more clients coming up that I'm really excited to be working with, have approached us and asked us to collaborate and create events for them. And what's been so interesting about that is being able to leverage the power of some of these bigger brands and the access that they have. And I think the credibility that they give us, because they have years and years of credibility, has been a really beautiful way that we've been able to grow and connect with more like-minded women and realize that there is an opportunity for us to see and connect with more women when we do it on a larger scale. And so our plans for 2023 involve a lot of development in the Portraits with Impact space, because we've seen in just a year and a half how much opportunity that's brought us. So we have some really exciting plans that I can't fully talk about right now, but hopefully some international travel and some more events with these bigger brands where we're working with their clientele and empowering their clients and their female leaders, which we hope trickles down and keeps and continues to grow this community that we've built. Yeah, I think the only other thing I could say in relation to Portraits of Impact, which I haven't said, and it's always felt important to me, but I don't know, like, I'll just quickly say it and you let me know if you think it's worth saying. But I forget what event it was, but it was a Waterloo-based, like, women's event that I went to. And the speaker there said to the group of women, if there's anything you can do for yourselves, it's get a great headshot. And at that moment, I was transitioning out of the advertising editorial world into starting this business for myself. And the first thing I did was hire someone to help me build a website and then find a team to get a great headshot. And that imagery still lives on my website. I did that now like 4 years ago, and it is one of the number one things we hear from people who inquire about our services, that they thought they trusted us immediately from the imagery that we had. And so I don't know, that's like what made us start Portraits with Impact. And it was a piece of advice I heard from another woman who, in a way, I guess, played a mentorship role to me at an event, was that and I can speak with experience that headshot has done so much for my business and for speaking for me when I haven't been able to speak to that client. When they've judged me before picking up the phone to call me, that photo has done what I needed it to do. When it comes to building a team, I think any entrepreneur can tell you that can often be the hardest part of building business. But I've been actually very fortunate to date to have most of my team, actually all of my team, literally walk into my life. One was connected through a great friend of mine. One approached me on Instagram, and one was connected through another colleague, one of my colleagues who knew someone who thought would be a great addition to the team. So currently we are a team of 4, but definitely growing. And what's the common thread amongst our whole team is not our experience, but our values. We're actually all small town farm girls who loved fashion and were those outcasts in high school who followed their, passion for style and fashion into school. And we all connected through various different ways. And what's so beautiful is that we're all really hardworking. We care for each other. And these are all things that I think are taught and you learn over time at a very young age. And those things have made our business growth possible because our team is so connected in that way, and we share so many of the same values. So it's been, I hate to say, but it's felt very easy building our current team. But I know as we grow, that's not necessarily what I can expect in the future. But what I've learned from this experience and being asked questions like this about, how our team is so great and so in sync, I know it comes down to values and not necessarily our experience. So moving forward, as we continue to hire and grow our team, I think I'll look at those values that people applying for jobs have, and their upbringing, and how they grew up, and how they approach different events, not necessarily what's listed out on their resume as their experience, because I know that doesn't always translate into building the team that helps you grow. What inspires me on an everyday basis to continue doing what we're doing is the fact that I have to put on clothes every single day. And right now I'm 5 months pregnant and my body is evolving, and I'm experiencing what a lot of our clients experience when they come to us, which is, I don't know how to dress for my body. It's taking over my life. I'm not feeling confident. And I've experienced that a number of times, more in this pregnancy, I would say, than the first one, which happened during the pandemic, and leggings and sweaters were kind of like more acceptable. Now I'm in a public atmosphere a lot more, and seeing clients still. And so I'm experiencing that moment in the morning where, when you don't put on something that makes you feel great, how it can really change how you feel about yourself, your mental health, and everything, and how it dictates how you approach the day. So what inspires me is, realizing that we have the tools to change people's lives through this daily act of getting dressed. And then also, the texts and the messages that we receive from clients on sometimes a daily, weekly, monthly basis of how we changed their day, or how they received a compliment about what they wore and that made them feel so incredible, and now they're so excited to get dressed, and how it's really just changed their life. Those are the things that make me continue to want to grow our business, light a fire under my butt to continue doing it and evolving it, and finding more ways to connect with this audience. Hardworking, dedicated, and I have good intentions. One podcast that I go back to all the time that I love and learn from is How I Built This. It's a business podcast that interviews different entrepreneurs, really successful entrepreneurs that we would all know of, but it gets really casual and informal like this, and it asks them about the real stuff. It doesn't necessarily highlight all the high moments, but it really talks about those hard times, those moments that I think any entrepreneur or person, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, can relate to, and it makes you feel just like that success is a little bit more attainable, which I think we all want for ourselves and our businesses. So I really look to those podcasts. There's hundreds of them, and there's so many inspiring stories. One of which was, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her name, but the CEO of Spanx. She has an incredible story about getting nitty gritty with her business. And I love that. I think that's so admirable in any entrepreneur. So yeah, that's the podcast I go to and listen to time and time again. Advice I would give to another aspiring business owner is to surround yourself with cheerleaders. One of the most important things I think I have in my life is family and friends and colleagues who really make me believe that everything I want to achieve is possible. And it's incredible how someone who encourages you can make you think you can conquer the world, and someone who discourages you and tells you, that you can't do something can really make you shrink and feel small and not want to go after those things or take those risks. And entrepreneurship is all about risk taking and believing in yourself. And so having a support system around you that encourages you, I think, is the most important thing that you can do in your life, and to not ask questions to people who you know you're not going to get the answer you want from. I've stopped doing that. It's not helpful. I know who's going to give me the answer I want, and I rely on those people in those moments when I need that advice. Audacious goals are a fun thing to think about. I don't think people think about that enough. But what I love about January and starting a new year is you kind of give your self the space to think about those things. So I love this question. Audacious goals for me have always been about how do we connect with more women at once. Any service-based business will tell you that you only have so much time in a day and you can only connect with so many people. So for me, the audacious goals are a TV show. I would love to have a TV show where we can talk more about what we do and how we do it, because there's not enough of our type of firms in the world. So I think there's a real opportunity to educate people. I think an app, we currently use an existing app, and we've done some work behind the scenes to hopefully one day have our own app. But I think that is a long-term goal for me. But that means we become a technology company, which fortunately enough, I come from Kitchener-Waterloo, and we have access to lots of people who hopefully one day could help us do that. But I think an app would allow us to reach a more global audience. And I think, another dream I've always had is I started working in a small boutique, and I loved connecting with clients that way. I think it would be so great to have a store or a chain of stores where we fill these stores with pieces of clothing that we're, shopping with our clients one-on-one, and filling them with pieces like that, so that if someone can't actually work with us one-on-one, they can go into a store and feel like they're getting our advice, which again helps us reach that mission, that vision of helping more women at more times feel confident in their clothing and learn about the power of a great outfit. So there's a number of ways you can learn more about what we do and connect with us, either through our website, juliannecostigan.com, our Instagram. We do fashion segments on Cityline on a bi-monthly basis, usually. We do a column in The Kit, which is in the Toronto Star, called Shop the Kit, where we're giving our advice on a monthly basis. And you can always just pick up the phone and give us a call. We're always available and happy to chat and talk more about our services. I don't know, I think you can get lost in perfecting the question or perfecting your outfit, but when you get back to the roots of what you do and why you do it, it's so easy to talk about it. But when you put that outside pressure on, it's hard. Anyway, so I am better when no one is asking me these questions, but I